So as a student, I can work 20 hours. So I started to apply for jobs. But you know how persons on YouTube made it seem all dandy, shandy, and nice? Like, ooh, I came to Canada and I got a job in 1 week. Or, ooh, I got my first job. Guess where? Right? To be honest, guys, it was not like that. I came here and I started online because I can work 20 hours. My husband was encouraging me to, hey, choose an engineering job where you can get some experience for the 20 hours. And not even if it means volunteering somewhere so you can get some form of experience, which definitely will look better on my resume. And I think that's the right thing to do, seeing, you know, I was like, honey, I'm in a phase of my life right now. I just want to focus on my Instagram business. And I want to carry people along with my journey. So I'm not really looking for a job. I would like to get one for the experience, but I'm at a stage in my life right now, I'm trying to work on me. Just doing something I love and what I want to do. But I said, okay, to please you, let me apply for some jobs because I don't want it to seem like I come to this country and I don't want to work all of a sudden, right? So I said, okay, let me apply for some jobs. And I did. Rejection after rejection. McDonald's had the audacity to tell me, I'm sorry, but at this time we decided to call any company that you can think of, then reject me. I mean, I was applying to the bare minimum, you know, the bare minimum, because I just said, oh, you know, I just want something to do. Then reject me. I couldn't take it anymore. I thought, at one point I thought it was my resume. One of my classmates encouraged me to move my engineering degree and I'm like, I'm not going to do that. If they cannot accept me for who I am, I'm not going to lower myself to fit in their box. I'd rather not work, right? So it was rejection after rejection, and I just felt like me can't bother. Like, this is not for me. I'm not going to do this. Me just can't bother. Me never expect this because persons on YouTube made it seem like, oh, it's so easy to get jobs. It's not. So I was like, for my partner, he was looking jobs, like even he was looking jobs from in Jamaica. He went on Indeed and LinkedIn, and what he did at first was to change his location to British Columbia because this is where we were coming. So that's a tip for you. If you're coming to Canada or your partner is coming with you and they will be on an open work permit, from the minute your student visa is approved, even if you haven't applied for his open work permit, start adjusting LinkedIn profiles, especially LinkedIn profiles. In Canada, LinkedIn profile is a big thing for recruiters and companies, I'm telling you. Plus, you can set open to work to only recruiters. So that's a tip for you. If you're coming here, start adjusting that LinkedIn profile. So he started to look work on LinkedIn and Indeed and companies. So like you have a Toronto Hydro, you have BC Hydro, all these big engineering companies. What he would do is target every position they put out, right? Best believe he wasn't in Canada yet. He was just applying to jobs because the goal was to come here with me, right? Me laugh off him every day. I laughed at him every day because he was doing interviews like clockwork. Honey, bro, I mean, he be doing interviews like schedule, like you know, sometimes it would be like 6 a.m. in Jamaica, but then it is 9 a.m. in Toronto, you know, different time zones, or even in he was looking for jobs everywhere because he went on LinkedIn and he spoke to persons in BC who are engineers, and they would say, hey, you have an open work permit, do not limit yourself to one location. Try to apply for everywhere in Canada. So that was a strategy also. If you're coming with your partner, please, if you want to work in your field, do not limit yourself to one area. Especially in a time like now where you can do school remotely. And Canada, they have so many pathways to say if you have a valid job offer from a company, who knows, you can probably switch out to permanent resident or something else. So keep your options open. Don't want to derail. Let's continue. So he was doing interviews every day, right? That goes to show you how many opportunities are here. In Canada, they don't do just one interview. They have like rounds of interview, 3 to 4 interviews. I'm telling you, it's another one. It's like levels. It's like levels to this. Like, okay, we get to know you in the first one, then the next one you get to meet some of our team members. We do a little interview, then the third one is a technical one, and then the fourth one is probably a problem solving. That was how it was for engineering companies, right? So he was doing so many interviews and he was making it out of the rounds and all of that, but nothing was like on the table, no offer. So I told him, I said to him, honey, you probably need to start applying to regular minimum wage jobs, because soon we'll be in Canada and you want to have something from the start. You don't want to be in this country and not working, right? So I told him, you have nothing to lose, because when you check it out, minimum wage jobs are similar to your per hour job in Jamaica. It's just the truth. You ain't losing anything. So you can support me even better, because you don't have to be buying CAD dollars to send me, or because remember, as a student I only work 20 hours. So I was encouraging him that, hey, I'm not saying to lower your standards, but not that you're going to forget who you are, but we got bills to pay, we got mortgage to pay, we got things to do, you know what I mean? So you want to be earning, you don't want to not be earning, and then we would have to be living off our savings. So he said okay, and to please me a bit, he started applying for simpler jobs, like such for Home Depot, other jobs. But then guess what? He got a call one day, and it was this engineering company calling to make an offer. And I was like, wow, because the money was so good. If you watch my last video, you know how much I was making in Jamaica. The money was 2 times that and more, right? And the benefits, they were more. It was so much more. And to be honest, I didn't feel bad when I was applying for jobs, because I was on a mission to just, find me, do things to encourage others, bring people on my journey, just want to be my true self. So I was okay. But what made me feel bad was that I took my husband to leave his good job to come to Canada, to come and, let's do this together, and not seeing any jobs. But if you're coming here, do not forget who you are. Do not try to talk your partner out of it like I did, right? And tell him to go just look at a regular job because it would still be good enough. Do not settle for good enough. And I think that's what happens to us so many times in life. Just like me, I was in a job in Jamaica, just settling for good enough because it's good enough. That's what happened to us so many times. We settled. And here I was making the same mistake. I just pledged, I'm taking up my life to change it, to tell my partner to settle for good enough. So I say this to say, if you're coming here and you're looking for jobs, do not believe that, hey, I will find a job ASAP. For us, when I tell people, hey, you got a good engineering offer, and then when you think he was doing so many interviews and little me was laughing, he didn't get just one offer. Offers just kept rolling in. And for me, I was thankful, and I believe I owe everything to God. I do. Because if it wasn't God speaking to him to say, hey, don't listen to her, keep applying, he probably would have given up, right? But he did not. So if you're coming here, everybody's journey is different. Please fix that LinkedIn profile, that Indeed profile, do over that resume, and start applying before you even reach. And when you get here, if you even have to do a job, for starters, like some person say, like I was recommending to my husband, do it, but do not settle for it. Do not just say okay and then stop applying for good jobs. Do not limit your job search to the province that your wife will be in. Open it up. She can always, or he can always, transfer to the other province in another school in that province. If you got a good job in that province, it's worth the move. Okay, so do not limit your options. Those are my main tips when it comes to looking jobs here. You have to be consistent and you have to keep applying. Don't give up. Jobs are here. If you're coming from Jamaica or Nigeria or the Philippines, in most of these other countries, we do not have this seasonal thing, right? So for us, it's just a one season. Here in Canada, they do things based on season. So after you have been applying for jobs, you get to realize something. Most companies do not really like to hire in the winter. It's like winter here, they are on vacation, they are on a break. Place locked, them not really take on nobody new unless it's a need. And it just seems like they're not taking on anybody new. I got that from a recruiter, by the way. They're not just not hiring for the winter really. So you realize when spring come, more jobs. So in my case, where they were refusing me McDonald's, KFC, Home Depot, everybody reject me. So spring come, they be calling my phone. Hey, are you still interested in doing a job or still working with us? And I was like, you giving me my 20 hours? They said yes. You giving me more than minimum wage? They said yes. And I said, okay then, now we have a deal. The only thing is, I'm not able to work 40 hours so I could make back my company money from back home. I only can work 20. But it's a good start, it's a better start. So I'm doing that. So if you're coming here, be aware of the seasons. It seems like spring, summer, they want a lot of persons. But when it comes to the winter, it's like, so be aware of that. Especially if you're coming and you're planning on making that 20-hour money, be aware. Right? Be aware, plan around it. And do not be like me. If you're someone who is looking to progress your career, look for jobs, like my partner would say, that's in your field, to volunteer, that will look good on your resume. I will do that eventually in my last semester, somewhere there on the list to do. But right now, I'm going to do content for y'all. That's a part of my portfolio I'm trying to develop for my next career, because hey, I'm doing a master's in business administration, it's in management. I want a career where I can show my portfolio to say, hey, I do this, I manage this, I work on this. This is my personal career that I'm building. Okay, so that's for me. But you know what you want and try to volunteer. You never know. You see, places that offer volunteering normally do have jobs where they hire persons. So if you volunteer in that company, when it's time for them to hire someone, you would have had your foot in the door already. So all the best. And also remember, if you're a student and you came here and you probably started in a little minimum wage job, stop just being comfortable with that and probably try to apply for something else to move up. It's open. The door is open. Remember why you came, remember your goals, and you can get it.